My screen is proper going mental. Check something in a second. Aha. It is recording. Oh no. Oh, there we go. I can actually see text and everything. Look at that. Aren't I spoiled? HP working though. It is. Something's wrong, but it isn't. Okay, this is a 1 versus 1 on the map Turtle Rock. And it's between Albert Einstein, Blue Human, versus Xar as the undead, who is brown. That makes him a lot harder to see on the map, but it's not going to be that hard to tell where he is when you're right next to each other. So this should be interesting. I don't know much about 1 versus 1, so I wouldn't know that's a good thing or a bad thing for the undead. It'll allow the undead to keep on top of the human a bit more early game. But maybe later on in the game he doesn't want to be so close to the human. We shall see. Looks like the Archmage is the hero of choice for Albert. So I guess Albert knows that the Xar is pretty damn close when an Acolyte scouts you that early on. And Death Knight is, of course, the hero of choice for Xar. I'll call him Xar. That seems easier. Cigarettes, crits, tome, relics, nice spread out buildings, but no graveyard yet. Tower going up quite early on for Albert. Good position for it. Very good building placement. He obviously knows how to build his stuff. Not so well. Oh man. What's this footman up to? He's gonna get a little bit of harass time before he gets his ass slowed. Death Knight might be able to kill him. If he takes a good opportunity here. See, Cold Tower comes out same time as Death Knight, coils away, ghouls are on that, that would be a dead footman. But does he want to use his coils? Is it a trick to get the undead player to use up all of his coils? This is the distraction footman, which is actually part of a strategy. I learned that from you guys because someone posted that basically in the 1 versus 1 that we saw with Albert sending. That was the one where I beat Albert in 1 versus 1. Sorry, I wasn't clear enough there. I had a 1 versus 1 with Albert and I won. Yeah, in that game where I won versus Albert in 1 versus 1, where I won it, so I was the winner, he sent a footman to my base straight away and I just straight up ignored it. And that's what it is. It's quite easy to get distracted by it, especially when it's inside your base and there's a potential to get a kill on it. I assume that he did, because I'm not seeing it on the mini-map straight off the bat. Is this a fast expansion from Albert? It could be. Meanwhile, Xar is only doing his little green spot. These are nasty chomping turtles, so you've got to be so careful. To be fair, it's not easy to save all of your units on this one. Should be able to save the majority of them, but that guy, if you don't keep track of him, he chomps hard and fast. So he will basically take care of a couple of militia. Is that a good item? It is a very good item. 500 health, I'd say that's pretty damn good. We're going to shoot some towers. Albert's doing okay for resources. Wood is still good, so he can get those towers up. And then the expansion afterwards. Looks like Xar's going to carry on his creeping route along the left-hand side of the map. Wouldn't it be good if the red spot was a bit more reasonable? Because that would be a really nice expansion spot to have. Because it's close-ish to your base, but not still far away enough from the enemy that it shouldn't be so easily threatened. We've got the graveyard going down now. There's the footman coming back for more. Is that the same one or is it a different one? Wow, that is a long-range Nerubian tower. You ain't going very far. Is this expansion halfway up? It is. How's the tower doing? Just the same rate at the expansion. Is he going to be greedy and go for the turtles? Again? Well, I wonder if I saw this. I'm sure he did. Now's your chance to get in on that action, although he has only got crappy ghouls. Crappy ghouls. But they might be enough, even so, against this army of Alberts. Albert, being forced to run away here, does not want to get chomped at too heavily by the turtles, who do quite a bit of DPS if they get on top of you. Now, the Archmage is trying to slow down... No, I mean the Death Knight. Almost passively slowing down the Archmage a little bit there as well, which is quite nice. Now the Archmage is spazzing out. I don't know whether he's doing that deliberately or what. We get a lot of jerky movement from the Archmage. Oh, is a panda going to be brought out for Albert? I just felt like he was going to get a panda there for some reason. Goes past that tavern. Panda comes out. Drunken Haze or Breath of Fire on the ghouls, and that would change the fight quite drastically. Get on that Archmage. Get on the Archmage. But then again, if you can get a footman or two, why not? The problem is this expansion is basically getting stronger and stronger. There's more towers going up slowly as this little kerfuffle between the two players goes on. Ah, now he sees. Now he definitely sees. But what can you do? You're going to have to take that guard tower down quickly. Even so, you're not in a position where you're strong enough to deal with this. So that expansion is basically unkillable at this point in time. So you either need to get an expansion yourself or find a way to harass very hard and be successful. Right, Gargs. That's an interesting touch. I like that. I like the attempt. Can these ghouls manage to survive long enough for this sea turtle to get killed? Oh dear. That will go down, but luckily Albert, I can see on the minimap, is not coming back. And yes, they've got smart targeting, which means they go straight back on the weakest unit if you pull them out and then pull them back in again. So there's quite a few ghouls gone. Tome of Agility, Potion of Greater Healing, so very good item. Gargoyles, only 2, not so effective at that point. Once the towers go up, they're going to be even less effective. So I like Gargs, but I don't know how useful they are aside from being used against Night Elf or something. Against the Wisps. Might even get to see tanks then. If Tsar makes enough gargoyles, that would be a good excuse to get tanks even in 1 versus 1. The Gargs are pressing the attack. Footman is in trouble. Oh no. Death Knight is also in a bit of trouble, to be honest, as well. He's a little bit surrounded there. He doesn't quite realise though. He's still putting the pressure on. Luckily he's kind of low on mana anyway, so that Arcane Tower isn't going to hurt him too much. Could have been worse. All this time you've got to bear in mind that Albert has this expansion running. But then again, it might be one of those games where if Albert doesn't get enough production buildings, then he can't use the gold anyway. Only to spam out on potions for his Archmage, who has used his potion. He's a healing pot, but so is the DK, so now they both lost that. The Turtles have given away their pots of health, and they're not giving any more out. That's it. Use them wisely, they're gone. Gargoyles, be careful of the water elementals. That can do kind of a nasty bit of DPS actually to Gargoyles if you leave them on them long enough. Even the Archmage helps. No second hero coming out for Albert though, I see. More Gargs. Luckily they're cheap units for the most part. But Xar is going to need to try and secure an expansion. If we can, that'd be cool. It's not so easy though. Especially putting it here would be kind of risky because you'd have to guard it a lot. It's kind of easy to kill an expansion when it's building. And it's not hard for Albert to miss an expansion that's going up so close nearby. Oh, the Troll Trappers are not happy with the Gargs. Death Knight bringing down the pain of the coil. One trapper down. Just take out the other one and these ogres are easy. Or are they? They've got this Death Knight almost trapped there. Yeah, that's right, Lich. You do a bit of tanking. It's a bit overkill to use the invulnerability pot on the Death Knight there. There's that pesky human scouting that Albert is so famous for. His map hacking ways of sending a footman out to scout. Such a map hacker. Right, is he going to learn his lesson this time and not lose units to the turtles? Yeah. The weaker one just has to go onto the smaller turtles. He's going to lose a unit! He did it! He's going to lose another one. Oh, Albert. Albert. When will you learn? Oh no, scroll of protection as well now. Just use freaking items versus PvE mobs day. That expansion, how much has gone from that? You get a lot of gold actually in the expansions. 15,000. Pretty hefty. Which makes me wonder if this map... I mean, you see this map more often in 1 versus 1 scenarios. But is it balanced for 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2? Both, I guess, but you can't. It would have to favour one. You know, you can't have it favour both or be perfectly balanced for both. Just not going to happen. Oh, Tome of Experience, who's going to take it? Mountain King might be able to get to level 3, level 2 Stormbolt then. Oh, it doesn't do much at all, actually. It gets him halfway through level 2, but I thought it might be a bit chunkier than that. That'll have to do, though. Oh, that's a couple of scrolls of healing on the Mountain King that we can see, and we can also see invulnerability part, invisibility part, bit of armor, and scroll of roar, as I like to call it, but I don't think it's called that. Scroll of the beast. So it's basically the druid roar ability. These turtles are nasty. Corrupt of vitality. Oh, I bet he thought he picked it up. That's what I reckon. Clicked on the tome, which is exactly the same position, and probably thought he clicked twice.
A player's forces are under
We'll find out later on who gets that Percept of Vitality, because I assume he's assuming that he's already got it, and that he can clear his memory of it, but it is still there. We know it's there. We saw it. Okay, Turtle's doing slightly less of a threat now because of the rifles being out. So rifles as a possible counter to potential Destros or Frostworms or mainly Gargs, which he definitely knows are being built. Rifles are a solid unit and they are going to carry quite far. It's kind of interesting how both players just arrived at this point at the same time. Neither player is going to commit to creeping that whilst the other one is nearby. Not a chance. Good little free kill here on the rifle, I like that, good touch. Careful with the DK. Luckily the Stormbolt is still only level 1, so it doesn't do a very large amount of damage to Death Knight. And the problem is, it's tempting to go for that Mountain King, but yeah, the rifles are just going to pick off the Gargs whilst the Mountain King is running away. So one Garg for a lot of damage on the Mountain King. He's almost got to his point, although that's a good turnaround. Nice turnaround from Zar there. I think the TP was a little extravagant, apart from the fact that it was used to save the Lich. But I like that. He did try there. And Albert didn't see that coming. He reacted well enough, though, with the invulnerability pot for the Mountain King. But that was a good little turnaround. Suddenly just BAM! Strikes again. And this time he might have got the Mountain King if Albert did not bring out that invulnerability pot. 2 Frostworms on the way. Zar still doing okay. Despite not having that expansion, Albert is now suffering for wood. Oh my goodness, there is a tank. A tank has been made. Is the Mountain King going to suffer? Not really enough, because the Paladin has got quite a bit more mana to keep him up. So any little digs from the undead in terms of their spells are not going to be enough to really threaten the Mountain King when he's got a Paladin by his side. Good time for the Frostworms to come out, maybe bring the ghouls in here now. This is pretty much it. Try to pick off the units. Hope that the tanks don't do too much, which they won't do. Oh my goodness, the rifles are doing all the work. Look at that, focus fire! The rifles are making short work of those Frostworms. Blimey. I did not expect that Frostworm to go down quite as quickly as it did, but the Scroll of Roar must have made quite a bit of difference. I like how this guy's calling Albert an idiot for not getting hawks. That's good. Good touch. Very funny. Okay, no, interesting one that. Good play. Well done for both. And the gold mine difference was a bit too much, I think, in the end there. But otherwise, yeah, pretty good. Well done. And thanks for watching. This has been WTii. Please subscribe, like and comment, and I'll see you later.